Many industries have invested in API, but in API, the very basic need is primary energy. If you want to have API into multiple reaction stages, in every single reaction stage, you need energy. So the primary energy is extremely important for API industry. And the problem for us at this moment that Bangladesh is currently able to supply something about 50 to 60% of its demand. So even if you wanted, it is going to be extremely difficult for the authority to supply required amount of energy. We hope we are in discussion with the government. We hope that they would be able to start supplying primary energy. And this is my assessment that not only in pharmaceutical, not only in API, not only in biologics, not only in vaccine, but there are many other sectors, like in case of garments, in case of textile, in case of small engineering goods, and in many areas, the primary shortage is the primary energy. At this moment, if we are able to supply primary energy to the Bangladesh, the way Bangladesh industry will start bursting up is, if I give you an analogy, that in a gas stove, if you stroke a small piece of fire, then you get the whole thing done. So this is the situation where Bangladesh is. If we are able to supply them the primary energy, the whole country's total ecosystem and industrialization development will just start moving so fast that we should be able to achieve maybe 10% plus GDP growth. So in pharmaceuticals, specifically, if we wanted, then we need the primary energy to kickstart the API industry. Leaving aside that, if I can add something on biologics and vaccines. In order for you to move forward in API industry, you need many, many different things. But fortunately, in case of biologics, majority of it comes from your mind. And you play with either a small bacteria or some other vector, some other host system, which you can design yourself, which works as your starting material. Then all you need is some nutrients and a control environment so that eventually you can get your end product. So there, actually the supply is control environment and some of the other processing accessories. So this is the beginning of an industry where we can catch on probably at the same pace that you see happening in other places. The gentleman from Cytiva mentioned that Bangladesh is also working with mRNA technology. Yes, Incepta, our company is working with mRNA technology. Not only mRNA technology, there are several obstacles in mRNA technology, especially the lipid nanoparticle. But we are also working with certain other things where you can avoid nanotechnology and use of a long chain molecule. You can actually encircle your particle, which would give you same effect that of a lipid coated particle. So these are the new innovations are coming up, and we are working with Imperial College, and we would be able to give to the world, because this is the most expensive part of it, we would be able to give to the world access to mRNA technology by which it is going to be affordable. There are certain other things also I'd like to tell you, that in case of mRNA technology, you need capping reagents as well as you need enzymes. All these things are going to be produced in Bangladesh. So we would be able to provide, at this level of technology, all other components that is required to make mRNA actually economically feasible. So we are working on that. We are working on that. So we are not very far away from the cutting edge technology. The other thing is vaccine. Similar to biotechnology, also in vaccine, you really do not need many things except your brilliant mind. We have started working on this and virtually made almost most of the vaccines that you usually use in immunization. And if we try, maybe within 3 to 5 years' time, we would be able to make all the vaccines that are currently being used. So this is the situation where we are. If you talk about small organic synthetic compounds, many people would argue with you that probably we are far behind. And as I said, that you need the infrastructure ecosystem to be competitive with that. But the best thing that you need is human mind. And unfortunately, in Bangladesh, there are many chemistry departments where organic synthetic chemistry at the education level is not what we actually need at this moment. So we need at least 3 to 4 chemistry departments, which is equivalent to the best anywhere in the world. All we need, probably, let's say, 10, 12, 15 professors coming from other places, just put them into it so that we get, chemistry is the mother of everything. I tell you, chemistry is the mother of everything. So we need very, very high quality organic synthetic chemists in Bangladesh. And if we start doing that from today, I hope the education, from Education Ministry, somebody is here, and we would like to collaborate with them, and we can, so that make it happen in Bangladesh. Industry can come forward, and then we can actually build up a chemistry department which is at par with the very best. And you would be very surprised to see that even if you have seen 5 years back the status of chemistry departments, we see so rapidly changing it towards the east. Beijing University and National University of Singapore, their chemistry department is absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I think the help is very nearby. If we can get some help from there, we can build up fantastic education institutions. This is what we need. So then the other thing, the venture capitalist guru, he was telling the ecosystem and regulatory system. And there is another one gentleman from USA, he's expert in clinical testing, clinical research. We need actually many clinical research organizations. More than that, these are physical setup, but we need clinical scientists who are going to be able to design clinical trials which are acceptable by all high-end primary, high-end regulators. Like, let's say, UKMHRA, FDA, they should be able to accept this. And we can get help from WHO. And thank God our drug administration is now gearing up to have their ML3 approval, and all 9 regulatory functions are in place. They are being trained up. So very soon we hope that we'll be able to get a drug administration which is approved by WHO, and we will have the required regulatory system whereby our companies, when they come up with newer things, they will get approval. So we need to sit with the government. We do not want everything, this, no. All we need is simple policy support and the regulatory framework so that we have an ecosystem which supports innovation. And if that happens, then Bangladesh is so strong in biological science. The biochemistry department is from Dhaka University is just absolutely brilliant. The biotechnology, or this is called genomics, or some in Khulna University, they are just absolutely brilliant, Khulna University. And Bangladesh is so rich in biochemistry and biological sciences. So we can take help of that. And this is the starting point. If there were about, let's say, 100 approvals in a single year, you would see almost like 70 to 80 drugs from the biologics. This is the time that we all have our acts together, sit with the government, set up the regulatory environment, set up the regulators, drug administration, have CROs, start research, and all the monoclonal antibodies which have so far, the patent had expired, hundreds of them. We should aim to produce all of them within just 1 to 2 years' time. And this is what is possible. It is just in our hand like this. It is within our reach. All we need is to have the right ecosystem. So, and we know what are the ecosystems that you have to build up. Please talk to us, because the industry knows every single obstacle that it is facing now. And we'd be able to guide you, give you things so that you can actually put those things in place. And once it is there, you never will have to look back. I don't want to take much of your time, but I want to tell you certain other things. If you look into the whole world, you will see only very few countries have the ability to produce pharmaceutical products. Leaving aside the Western world, which means North America, Australia, and Western Europe, China, India, and Bangladesh. These are the only few countries has the capability to produce all dosage forms. So Bangladesh is no loner. Bangladesh is not far behind. Bangladesh is far, far, far ahead compared to the whole world, the whole world. So we have so much of strength, so much of strength. We must take advantage of this. And if this is coupled, if this ability is coupled with biotechnology as well as with vaccinology, which makes it complete, then Bangladesh can actually lead the whole world in supplying high-quality medicines, vaccines, biologicals, everything. But there are many obstacles, and the laws and regulations and principles, policies, attitude, everything has to be ironed out. Please call us. Make it an emergency call. Bring them all together. Look into what are the obstacles. Very little, small, small things. Very small things. And just smoothen the pathway for us. We give you an industry which is going to be so good, and it is not the industry that people are ashamed of. This is an industry which is far, far, far superior and sophisticated, and people actually look for this. We'd be able to give it to you, and we can make Bangladesh so proud with producing high-quality medicines, vaccines, biologics for the whole world, and Bangladesh can benefit with the export of billions of dollars of export. So at the end, I would like to urge that please give us that opportunity so that we can cite the examples. These are the things that you need to solve. Give us a little bit of policy support. Change little bit of regulations here and there, and then we give you this industry. Thank you so much for listening.